Pokedex number 327, Spinda. I haven't been Disney in 10 years because who spins around in a circle and does that to themselves as an adult? But I remember the feeling, and it isn't desirable. Spinda is a Pokemon that is born and dies dizzy, and that sounds like the absolute worst. We've all seen the go home Spinda, you're drunk memes, though, so maybe it's actually awesome, because maybe what the Pokemon world mistakes for dizziness is actually Spinda just being toasted all the time, in which case Spinda is my dream come to life. The biggest evidence in favor of this is its Sun Pokedex entry that reads, its steps are staggering and unsteady, but Spinda thinks it's walking in a straight line. So Spinda gets pulled over by the cops for drunk driving and they make him walk in a straight line, and Spinda thinks he's killing it like a tightrope walker on Adderall, but in reality he's Jimmy Fallon coming out of a Dave & Buster's at 5 a.m. But if it turns out that Spinda is in fact just a dizzy mess of a creature who walks around in a constantly spinning world devoid of balance, then it truly does suck to be it. Pokedex number 349, Feebas. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the shabbiest of them all? That's a favorite word used to describe Feebas by the makers of every region's Pokedex. It's ugly, it's shabby, it's unpopular, it's ignored. Feebas is a hard life, man. The one thing it has going for it is that it's hardy. It can live anywhere and eat almost anything, which aren't really compliments. Like, imagine trying to reassure a girl with low self-esteem that, yeah, she's disgusting, but hey, at least she can eat polluted garbage. Feebas is the Meg of Pokemon. Only one day Feebas will become beautiful, but that's difficult for it without the help of a trainer. In Gen 3 and 4, you had to max out its beauty rating with Pokeblocks, which means the only way a wild Feebas could have evolved into the Radiant Milotic, yeah I said Milotic, fight me, is if a cargo ship carrying Pokeblocks hit an iceberg and scattered them all over the surface of the ocean. In Gen 5 and beyond, it must be traded holding a Prism Scale, a very rare item. So basically 99% of Feebas should give up on their dreams of becoming visually acceptable. There is one triumph, though, as time passes, if you look at the Pokedex entries in order. The Leaf Green Pokedex says it is ignored by researchers because it's so uninteresting, and throughout Diamond and Pearl, Black and White, X and Y, that remains the case, but there's a breakthrough in Sun and Moon where it is now the subject of research in regard to its, quote, marvelous vitality. What a win for Feebas, finally some recognition. Sure, you look like a tanning bed accident, but way to stick around. Pokedex number 371, Bagon. Bagon desperately wants to fly and is very OCD about it. This Pokemon will find the nearest cliff edge and hurl himself off of it in a vain attempt to take to the sky. The Pokedex says that because of this, its head has grown as strong as tempered steel. Do you know how many generations of soft-headed Bagon would have had to shatter their skulls on a jagged cliff face to trigger such an evolution? Bagon's dream is built on the accidental suicides of all of its ancestors. That must make it all the more disappointing when Bagon finally undergoes its first evolution, praying for nothing but wings, and ends up as a fat, bulky turtle instead. Curse you, Arceus! His dream does end up coming true eventually, sure. At level 55, that is a long time to await your destiny. That's like if you told me I'd definitely become famous on YouTube when I'm 55. Kinda makes you want to jump off a cliff. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.